What's up, guys? Welcome to the new video. I hope you're well. Today, as promised and long awaited, we are going to cover 9489 History Paper 2, which is the outline study. And if you find this video helpful, which is my main goal and which I hope you ultimately will, please appreciate this video by dropping a like, share, and subscribe. And without any further ado, let's get right into it. Now, most students think that paper 2 is about knowledge, and that is why they never reach close to full marks or like an A or an A star. Because paper 2 is essentially not about what you know, it's about how you think like a historian. Paper 2, it has two parts. Part A is 10 marks, part B is 20 marks, and essentially total 30 per question. For the paper, 60 overall. And to get full marks, you must hit level 4 in part A and level 5 in part B. And what does level 4 in part A mean? It means that you explain multiple causes, you connect them, and you reach a conclusion. So causation is very important. Now, level 5 in part B means you build a sustained judgment. You use precise evidence and you argue consistently. Now, the biggest mistake students make is they describe. Cambridge explicitly say that weak answers drift into a lousy, vague narrative instead of explaining why. So part A is not a story. Part A is causation. You must answer why did this happen, not what happened. Now, in terms of the perfect part A structure, reason one is to explain it clearly, then to connect them, and then to conclude. So, an example is of a bad answer that Napoleon did this, then this. Then, by contrast, an A star answer, or actually an A which will reach a PUM of 90 and above, hopefully, because there is no A star at AS level, but there is at A2 level. Napoleon became emperor because instability created a demand for strong leadership. This linked to his military success, which built legitimacy, and together these factors made his rise inevitable. That sort of thing is what we are looking for. Now, in terms of the key rule for part A, one reason equals mid-level. Two reasons plus connection equals top level. If you do not connect causes, you cannot get full marks, period. So now let's move on to part B. This is where getting an A or lower is decided, and most students unfortunately fail here. So part B is evaluation. The question is always to what extent, how far do you agree, that kind of phraseology. And to get an A, you need to argue for, to argue against, to constantly compare, so constant comparison, and final judgment. So it needs to be like if I took a marker, pink marker for your argument and a light green for your evidence, it constantly needs to be pink, light green, pink, light green. So argument, evidence, argument, evidence. So the old-fashioned history Big Mac club sandwich. So we have the good old history club sandwich, and now we have what is an example of what evaluation looks like, and then what the examiners expect. However, in terms of a bad structure, paragraph 1 would just be merely a list of facts, paragraph 2 facts, and then conclusion is an opinion. That is usually just level 2 or level 3. Now, in terms of an A star structure, your paragraph 1 needs to be your main factor. You need to explain why is it important, why it matters to us as historians. Paragraph 2 is the second factor. You compare with the first factor, essentially. And paragraph 3 is the third factor. You weigh the importance. Every paragraph must evaluate, say which factor is stronger, what is short term, what is long term, think outside of the box, and say why. So now we have an example, as you have on this slide, that as you can see on this slide, the economic crisis was important, but political leadership was more important because it determined how crisis was handled. That is evaluation. And now what Cambridge says, top answers show in the examiner reports, which are written by the chief examiner who sets the exam, that there should be a balanced argument, precise evidence, and sustained judgment. And now, the biggest mistakes in Part B are writing one-sided answers, merely giving a narrative, a list of facts without argument, and ignoring the question wording. RTFQ, always sit on the question. At all times, I need to know in your response what question you're answering. Now, just one more thing here. The examiner report says that many answers describe instead of analyzing, and many answers lose focus on the question. Now, how to guarantee an A? You always answer the question directly. You tackle the question spot on, head on. And you always compare factors, always judge importance. That is your duty as a historian. We know what happened, but we want to see your thinking. And in terms of the time strategy, part A is 15 minutes, part B is 35 minutes, plan before writing, and top students always plan. Now, in terms of the final checklist for an A/A star, it's did you explain causes? Did you connect factors? Did you compare arguments? And did you give a clear judgment? Now, obviously, there is no A star at AS level, but you get what I mean. A PUM of over 90%. Final message is that you don't need more knowledge, more facts, more syllabus content crammed in your head. You just need better structure. And paper 2 is predictable if you think like an examiner, and top marks are achievable. Now, that's all for today, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. I hope this was useful for you. I wish you all the best. Good luck on your exam. And see you in the next video. In the next video, I'll cover Pure Mathematics 39709 from February, March 2026. And I love you all. I believe in you. God willing, this will all go amazing. You'll get those A stars. You worked hard for them. And yeah, best of luck. Take care. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. My utmost love and respect goes to you. Bye bye.